My name's Dave, and along with my wife Sherry, we are on the sailing vessel Soggy Paws. It's a St. Francis 44 catamaran, and for some time we have been looking for a reliable bilge alarm. So I've seen a lot of equipment, and I've also spent a fair amount of money on different types of bilge alarms, mainly water heater alarms, to try to get those to alert us when we have a bilge flooding problem. They haven't been too successful. As a matter of fact, here's one right here that is no longer operating, mainly because the batteries finally died and it didn't tell us when the bilge was flooding. So it also flooded the bilge alarm, and as you can see, it's just got a little short cord on it here, so you can't really get it too far above the bilge. So those aren't my favorite, not only because the batteries go dead, but you've got to keep a constant supply of unusual little batteries, and sometimes they're very hard to find. These are 12-volt bilge alarms, not little battery-powered alarms. They were designed by Luke Calabut of the trimaran sloop Moosh, and he's somewhat of a electronics guy, but also a long-time cruiser. He's been cruising for over 20 years, crossing the Pacific, and is now here in Southeast Asia with us. They're unique for a couple of reasons. The first is that they are 12 volt, not battery powered, so you just hook them into your boat's 12 volt power, and as long as you've got 12 volt power on the boat, the alarm should be working, particularly if you keep the alarm section of it out of the water. 300 feet away, the sensor can be from the alarm, so there should be no excuse for getting the alarm section of it flooded. Also, you can use multiple flooding sensors with these. We're going to have to put one of these in each one of our bilges on the catamaran, one on the port side, one on the starboard side, and we need to come to the center of the boat, which is about 20 feet, 15 feet maybe, to the alarm unit itself, and that way we can have the alarm in the main cabin here where we can hear it if it goes off while we're up on the nav station there. That's probably the most important time to make sure that you've got you're going to hear that alarm. And so it's a really good fit on a multi-hull, trimaran, catamaran, or even a large monohull, because you can extend the sensor. Okay, so now we're going to do what they call an unboxing. This is my first YouTube video, and I've seen a number of them, but the first one I've done, so they all do an unboxing, so we'll do that here first. That's the alarm unit, that's the sensors. This is the alarm unit itself, and it comes wrapped in a nice little box with a little set of instructions, and it's wrapped in a piece of cellophane here so that it doesn't get any dampness. So let's take a look at the instructions. They say 12 volt wired, and red is plus, black is negative. There's another model, a 09 model, that can use a 9 volt battery. The detachable sensor can be placed up to 6 feet away. Additional sensors can be placed up to 300 feet away. Sound intensity is 85 dB at 10 feet, which is pretty good. Not as loud as some alarms, but should be plenty if it's placed here in the main cabin. And the alarm box is splash and waterproof. Water resistant, but not waterproof, so you wouldn't want to let this get into water. And there's a website, www.zwetke.com, that has more instructions, frequently asked questions, and tips. That's Zwetke.com. Okay, so the device itself looks like this. The alarm itself is up here. In the back of it, there's a little screw fitting here where you can screw a screw into a bulkhead and then hang this on that screw. That's a nice feature there. If you go inside the little cabinet here, there's a couple of screws, and there's your positive and negative wires inside there. So red again is positive, black is negative. Okay, and then on the bottom here, is one of the sensors. So I'm not going to take this out. We'll look at the sensors here in a minute, but you can see the two contacts here. When those contact water, then electricity can pass across those, current can pass across those, and you end up getting the alarm. One issue with this, which I would like to see changed, but probably isn't going to happen, is that they are also magnetic, so they are not stainless. In the fact information I saw, it said just be sure that if one of these things gets into water, salt water, that you wipe it down real good with fresh water, and that should take care of it. But anyway, there's the sensor in there. I took one apart. There's no the connection inside is soldered, so what I would recommend is using something like one of these little devices, little connectors here, to gang multiple sensors into the one wire that's going into the unit. And if you do that, then if any one of them alarms, it will set off the alarm in the unit itself. And if you want to extend the sensor, then you can use a butt splice, one of these things here. They're pretty common, automotive or marine, and you just stick one wire in here and the other wire in here, and run it on out to 300 feet if you've got a boat that big. Okay, so that's the unit itself. And now let's take a look at the sensors. And here's the sensor. So again, the two contacts here, water gets across these and currents get passed. On the back they are glued with, it looks like a silicone glue of some sort, so that's going to be pretty waterproof. And then you've got, I think, 6 feet of wire here, 2 gauge, looks like maybe 22 gauge wire. So you want to be a little careful with trying to splice this. If you have to take the plastic covering off, you may need a special stripper for that. The other way to do that would be with a knife, but you've got to be really careful if you're going to do that. So anyway, that will allow you to gang up as many sensors as you want, or extend the length of the sensor itself. So again, this is a 12-volt activated alarm for bilge water, in case you get a flood in one of your bilges. And we can extend this cord here, which is only 6 feet right now. Here, there's the sensor. We can extend that out to 300 feet, or we can add multiple alarms. So right now we are hooked up via this negative black and positive red cable over to a cigarette, 12-volt cigarette lighter. Not that we smoke, but a 12-volt outlet there. And that's just a temporary situation so that I can put 12 volts to the alarm box. And then we're going to dip this sensor into some fresh water here in this little dish and see what happens. Hopefully all the electrons will be going in the proper directions, and you'll hear a nice loud alarm. Okay, here we go. How about that? It works. And all you have to do is just shake it off a little bit, then it stops working. So there's no on-off switches or anything else like that that you need to worry about. So that's it. That's not a bad alarm. I can certainly hear that from 10 feet away outside in our steering station. And we'll be mounting this box right here on my right side at our nav station in the main cabin, and that gives me easy access to 12-volt power right there. So, thank you for purchasing another great Zwetke product. Feel free to contact us anytime with any questions, comments, testimonials, or customer support requests. This I'm reading off the back of the book here, back of the box. www.zwetke.com. Quality products designed by our U.S. European team. Okay, thanks for listening. Hope you learned something, and if you buy one of these things, hope it works well for you.